Rami X back with another video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you haven't already. Today I'm feeling in the mood to record, so to speak, as I feel very Naruto-esque, if that makes sense, or feel like doing something very Naruto-esque today, especially since I just bought some new Naruto shirts. If you hear a small clicking noise about 5 seconds from now or just now, my apologies, that's just me putting away these headphones I have, or AirPods I should call them. With that being said, no other interruptions should be made within this video, and I hope you guys all enjoy. In the last part, we ended off with, well, Gaara, the Sand Trio's strongest member, the Sand Trio being Tenten, Kankuro, and Gaara. Basically, we ended off with Gaara being Takano Jutsu'd by Naruto. Takano Jutsuing, as you may know, is just Gaara's good now, is my point. And with that being said, after this, Naruto would free Sakura. Sakura had been, I guess you could say, defeated / held up against the tree. With that being said, Sakura, Sasuke, and the one and only Naruto himself would travel back to, you could call it the main area of the Leaf Village. This is where, you know, houses are at, the tuning exams areas at, you got the point, the main area of the Leaf Village. As here, they would see destruction. Now you may be asking, but how is this possible? First of all, you know, Orochimaru was dealt with, and second of all, well, to be frank, Gaara was dealt with, the two biggest threats. Well, let's just say there was another threat, much greater than any person in the Leaf Village could comprehend, unless they were from the future. This massive destruction had been caused by 10 forces. 10 forces of great power, so to speak. One was a masked man who claimed himself as Tobi, who wore a mask only revealing one eye, similar to the late Obito Uchiha. Another, well, you couldn't even call him human, since there were 6 of them. They were known as the Paths of Pain, with the main one staring down upon the village as he flew in the air. Another member was Black Zetsu. Sakura at this point saw this Black Zetsu creature, or should I just call it Black and White Zetsu, as there is, well, 2 of them, absorbing and basically taking over the bodies of many powerful Leaf Chunin, and, well, even the likes of some other Genin who were low-ranking and, well, as far as Sakura knew, she never knew. With that being said, there was another, Konan, who sent paper bombs down onto the Leaf Village, destroying many monumental buildings. Another was a face that Sasuke recognized the most, Uchiha Itachi, wielder of the Mangekyo Sharingan, and the person who massacred the Uchiha clan. Another, Kisame Hoshigake, a powerful swordsman from the mist who carried the legendary blade, or legendary, I should say. Samehara, another, sorcery of the red sand, noted to have killed many Uchiha. Sasuke knew this from the history lessons that his father had gave him. It is also stated that, well, with these Uchiha, he made them puppets, meaning that he could have had the Sharingan but chose not to. That's how powerful he is. Not only that, but they call him Sorcery of the Red Sand. Deidara, an S-class ninja who took a secret ninjutsu, who now possesses the ability of explosions. Deidara and Konan were the ones responsible for most of the damage, sending many different sized explosions down below and on to the Leaf Village. Hidan, the immortal man Naruto watched, as beside him was another immortal man, Kakuzu. He watched as they both recklessly did not avoid attacks, at least one of them didn't, that being Hidan. We actually see Hidan being kind of, well, reckless with his power, as he's so confident, so to speak. But we do know that from malnutrition, he, well, can't die. With that being said, Kakuzu dodged attacks, but even when he was hit, he did not flinch. Naruto watched all of this as he did not know what to do, but his body did. His fist would be clenched together. His teeth would start to emerge. Not his normal teeth, though. His teeth now resembled teeth like a canine, or should I say it, a nine-tailed fox. With that being said, Naruto would rush towards the Leaf Village, the place he called home. His first target was Black Zetsu and White Zetsu, as he had seen the disgusted face on Sakura. And at this point, Naruto kinda does like Sakura and doesn't like when, well, she's disgusted, so to speak. Some of you may not like that, but, well, it's just the truth. It's happened in the canon, too. I guess it's just who Naruto likes, so to speak. With that being said, Naruto would immediately take out Black Zetsu and White Zetsu, who were unsuspecting of it. This would actually take them out. He wouldn't fully kill them, as, well, we do see White Zetsu and, well, Black Zetsu having very great regeneration, but they were out for the count and incapacitated. At this point, they are both, well, heavily injured. Injured enough to where they can't get up, maybe for a few weeks, so to speak. Naruto's next target was Kisame Hoshigake, or Hoshigaki. He had heard many things about him. How he was a powerful swordsman of the mist. How people called him the tailless, or, the tailed beast without a tail. With that being said, he rushed towards Kisame. He felt like he had a bone to pick with somebody who was supposed to be a tailless tailed beast. Naruto would then clash with his foot to Samehada. His body was now bathed with the Nine Tails aura as he saw many dead bodies around him. Why, Naruto would ask, why would you come into our village and do such things? Why not? This is just a village. A low-life village with nothing to its name anymore, at least. I'd say that you should get... Before he finished his sentence, Naruto had created a shadow clone, which would basically put Kisame in a headlock. Kisame would smirk, biting down onto the shadow clone as it would explode, or poof away, so to speak. With that being said, Kisame would then look in front of him and stare into the eyes of Naruto. He would then smirk. I know you. You've been making waves in the ninja world. Nine Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto Uzumaki. We were told that you'd be here. That's in a way why we're here. Our organization consists of many S-rank ninja. Our goal is to bring peace to this world. But we first need you, well, you impudent tailed beast. You need the tailed beast, huh? Fine. Kurama at this point would lend Naruto all of his chakra, as Naruto would be able to enter, for a brief moment, a pseudo KCM-2. With that being said, Naruto would quickly destroy, and I mean destroy, Kisame, as even Samehada wasn't even able to react to the massive amounts of chakra that, well, Naruto was basically sending its way, as, well, it would implode. With that being said, Samehada would basically be able to, control itself as, well, it's a blade that can eat chakra, but eventually it would take a liking to Naruto instead of Kisame, which, it did to, well, it would kind of come over to Naruto. Naruto would take the blade as he would finish Kisame off with it. Kisame wouldn't even be able to pull out his, I guess you could call it a water bubble-like jutsu that he used on B. I think all of you guys know the one. With that being said, Naruto would then rush towards his next foe, or next opponent, Sasori of the Red Sand. He was angered at Sasori. He saw Sasori just kill one of his best friends. And you may be asking, who is this quote-unquote best friend? Well, it's Choji Akamichi. Choji showed Naruto much kind gratitude, and he and Choji were actually very great friends. All of the Konoha 11/12 were Naruto's very great friends. Sorry for any background noise. With that being said, Naruto would be enraged. His Nine Tails chakra was out of control. He couldn't control it, nor did he wish to. His power spiraled, and he was not in control. He would rip apart Sasori, first taking out the Hiroko shell, and then killing Sasori himself. Sasori was too slow to react to anything Naruto sent his way, Rasengan after Rasengan. But then you may be asking, but he doesn't know the Rasengan. Exactly. I just want to call it that since it's just much easier for me, as it's just basically a ball of condensed chakra that's, well, uncontrolled. So basically like an unstable Rasengan. With that being said, Naruto would continue to slam these jutsu into Sasori as Sasori would die. Maybe it's just me, but a KCM2 Naruto slamming Rasengan after Rasengan, or practically Rasengan after Rasengan, into Sasori with many combos in the mix. I think Sasori's out for the count. His next opponents were Konan and Deidara. Naruto would create a 50% shadow clone, as one would go for Konan and another for not Sasori, but Sasori's teammate, Deidara of the Akatsuki. Naruto himself would be fighting Konan, as Naruto would aboard I guess you would call it a wing of Konan. Konan has been shown to be able to make wings from paper, and she was basically flying around with her wings, and Naruto was holding on to one of these wings as he would ask Konan a question. Why did you come to my village? Besides just needing to take me. Why? Why did you do this? Well, we had word that Two-Tailed Beast would be here. So even if you gave yourself up now, our goal wouldn't be done. So the only way to find, or should I say, capture both of the tailed beast here, we must first destroy everything. It will also make our task a lot easier. We can make the Leaf Village our base of operations. You don't say. So you decided to come to my village just to do this? Naruto would spiral out of control even more. He now knew the truth, and even though he was out of control, he could maintain his composure, even if only a little bit. He would yell out in anger that he will not let them take Gaara. Konan would realize an immediate connection between Gaara and Naruto, as he was so enraged, I should say, that, well, Konan even brought him up. Naruto would then create a massive ball of chakra as he would slam it into Konan, sending her into the ground. Konan does not have any prep, so we do not see anything insane from Konan here. At least we're not going to be, I should say. As well, she had prep against Obito and was able to create that whole massive paper bomb explosion, but we would see something like that still happen. At this point, Naruto's Berserk Shadow Clone would be taking out Deidara with the assistance of a few lower-ranked Jonin and Chunin assisting him, as Deidara will basically be defeated. He's not suicide bombing himself, as that would basically kill all the other Akatsuki members, and that makes no sense, at least for Deidara to do right now. I have no doubt that Tobi/Obito would survive, though, so that is what it is, if you will. But with that being said, Naruto would then get hit with a massive attack from Konan. This is the real Naruto, not the Shadow Clone Naruto. This attack spanned, well, about 100 meters, give or take, each direction, as Naruto would be hit with it head-on. How many paper bombs were used in this attack? Well, about 10,000. This would leave Naruto on the floor, unconscious, as he would now be talking to the Kyuubi, face to face. The Kyuubi would ask Naruto if he has the guts to live, or if he has the will to. Naruto would look up at the Kyuubi as he wondered what his next move would be, wondered what he would do. As he sat there, laying down on the floor, the Kyuubi yelled at him in his head, "Get up, Naruto. Show them what you can do. Show her. No, show them that you won't just let them stomp on you in your village." Naruto's eyes would then turn red as the Kyuubi would have to take control. "We have been together for 12 years, Naruto. I will not just let you die here when everything's on the line. I don't know what they'll do to me. I'll die for sure. Their dreams of world peace. Naruto, you can just do that yourself if you become Hokage. Naruto, you can do this, but for now, I must control your body. Now, shall I take control?" A hand would touch Kurama on his back. And Kurama would look behind him as he would go wide-eyed. "It's you," Kurama would say, as the man would smirk. "Hello, Ninetales. Maybe you figured this out, or maybe you didn't. And also, if like 55 seconds or so, there was like a quick pause and maybe like an interruption, my apologies. For any of you watching out there, if you guys are like content creators or anything like that, really, or if you're just doing something and you get a call while you're trying to do something, especially something that's important, like for example, me making this video, it is so annoying. And yeah. Anyhow, with that being said, Naruto, or I should say Naruto's body in this case, would go ham on Konan, while the Ninetales would continue to talk to this man, who I shall name now. His name is Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. Minato would smirk. "You've come a long way with my son, but unfortunately, even though you've changed for the better like I predicted. Just saying, I don't think that you will come out of this alive. You and Shukaku. You don't think so? Way to be so pessimistic, Minato. You know, I should really tear you to pieces right now." "Oh well, don't worry about that. I'm not here to fight with you. Merely tell you your odds. There are still multiple S-rank ninja around here. How much chakra do you truly have? And with that being said, may I note another thing that may be in your best interest? There is a man here who I thought fought on the same night that I sealed you within Naruto." "Oh, you mean..." "Yes. I mean the masked Obito." You see, basically, Kurama just now said Obito, and Minato said the masked man. Minato's whole mood would change as he didn't realize that this masked man was actually Obito. So he would ask Kurama if he could do him a favor. If he could somehow be projected into real life. Kurama would tell Minato that that's not an option, as Minato would explain that Obito was once his student, and that he thought that he had died. Kurama would now hate Minato even more, as if you do know, Obito had actually controlled Kurama. With that being said, Kurama would tell Minato that he didn't know that, well, Obito was here, and that Obito truly is a big problem. Minato would then also explain that somebody with the, well, dojutsu known as the Renegon is here, which also gives some problems. And since I've been seeing through, well, Naruto's eyes, an immortal man named Kakuzu, who is about 91 years old, give or take, he fought against the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. His name is Kakuzu, and he is here. Another man who seems to also be immortal, since he doesn't care about being hit, or just has an immunity to pain of some sort. Well, he, for lack of a better word, is also immortal, and a huge problem. From what you know now, do you truly believe that you can win this? Not to mention that the famed Itachi Uchiha is here. He could genjutsu you within an instant. I guess not. I don't want you to accept this fate just as much as the next guy, but honestly, I wish I was able to be here. I would be able to stop all of this. I'm sorry, Kurama. You can fight to the very end if you wish to, but this world will be in peril. I see. Well then, I guess I'll stop fighting. There's nothing for me to be able to do anyway. Kurama would no longer control Naruto's body, as Naruto's body would fall to the floor in front of Konan, who would, well, for lack of a better word, be surprised. She would then remark that the boy must have hit his limits, as Sakura from the sidelines watched Naruto's pale body fall to the ground. As Sasuke fought against Itachi, wind would, well, be everywhere, as this was now Naruto's will. He had an ability that not much knew of. Naruto himself would now be conscious as he screamed a roar like none other. He would then yell out that the Leaf Village will not lose. Naruto would then use the special ability known as the Izanagi, as all of his wounds would be healed. I guess I was wrong. I won't be dying today. Oh, and you, Fourth Hokage. I don't know why you've been here, talking to the Nine Tails, but don't worry. Today the Leaf Village will not fall. Naruto would then kill Konan with one slash of his sword. He now grabbed his sword because he was much more calm, realizing, at least, well, when he was out of his, I guess you could call it, berserk stage, that he had a sword, that he had the Izanagi, that he had his friends, that he had the Nine Tails of Chakra, that he had all these things that he didn't realize. Naruto would now go after the two men who he, hearing from, well, Minato, were immortal, Kakuzu and Hidan. Naruto would quickly pick up a huge rock as he would slam it down onto their bodies. This would render them immobile, at least for the moment, as they were not able to break this massive rock. But there was also another reason. Naruto was physically keeping there was something that he called barrier. This basically meant that they could not escape the barrier of chakra that was around them that Naruto had created. As you do know that in some cases, the Nine Tails chakra can actually be poisonous to some, and that's what it's basically doing here. We actually have seen this in Boruto. Now, with that being said, Naruto would defeat all of the Akatsuki members except for one, with his hacks and the Izanagi, stuff like that. That person being Obito Uchiha, or the Masked Man, or Toby, whatever you want to call him. This is where Obito would lay down all the facts, as, well, Naruto, within his mind, would figure out that Minato is his father. And, well, in his mind, he would have a very nice time with him. But he also figured out that Obito is his student, as Naruto would try to relay this to Obito, who wasn't buying it. Who wasn't buying that Naruto even met his sensei. It, well, is technically speaking impossible without something like the Edo Tensei. With that being said, Naruto would have to take him out the good old-fashioned way, but he did have help. Basically, the whole Leaf Village was backing him, at least all the Leaf Village that was alive. So most of, like, the key players, like the main dudes, so to speak, like Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi, Guy, you know, Asuma, Kurenai, they were all backing Naruto. And, well, Kakashi had his Mangekyo Sharingan now, since he had seen many people die, and basically a lot of just traumatic memories had, you know, sprung about. And he had been able to counter Obito's Kamui, even though it was just something that came innately. With that being said, I don't want to kind of undermine this fight, and I feel like it's very important to cover, but maybe it's just me, but all these forces versus Obito, well, the forces I've named are winning. Naruto, even actually people like, you know, Kurenai, Asuma, Ebisu, you know, Konohamaru even, Asuma, Guy, Kakashi, Jiraiya, Tsunade, I'd say even Danzo would be here, if not fighting somebody like Itachi. But with that being said, Danzo is no more. He's actually going to be killed by Itachi. When Itachi basically realized the fact that, well, Danzo's been a snake, so to speak, and Sasuke and Itachi double team Danzo. It does not matter that he has the Izanagi as well. This double team is too strong. The Uchiha brothers' might is too powerful, so to speak. With that being said, Obito would be defeated due to the fact that the opposing side / opposing force had, well, Kakashi, as with the Akatsuki being no threat, there was only really one threat, Orochimaru, who, hearing of the news, would not want to, well, attack the Leaf Village, not in the slightest. With that being said, I do see the events of the canon unfolding. A battle between Sasuke and Naruto would happen where Naruto would take the W, and basically from this point on, Naruto and Sasuke would train. Sasuke would also try to prolong his lineage as 10 years would pass. In these 10 years, Naruto got a lot stronger with, well, Sasuke and many other people backing him up. He also learned the actual Rasengan instead of his, like, fake kind of Rasengan, so to speak, or his chakra ball, whatever you want to call it. He mastered the Nine Tails of Chakra fully. He gained Sage Mode, many things. But Sasuke also, in these 10 years, had a child, that being Sarada Uchiha, much earlier in the canon. Same with Naruto. But with that being said, I'm going to say that Boruto goes exactly how it's going to go in the canon, as we don't actually know what happens. And if you could not tell, this is a finale to What If Naruto had the Izanagi, Part 6. With that being said, this was a pretty good series. A quick one, but a pretty good one. I think this is the second series that ended at 6 parts, but most of these parts were pretty long, like 20 minutes plus. That's not too long, but you know what I mean. I will make this into a movie for some of you guys who liked that type of thing, where you can just watch everything whole and you can consume it whole. I hope you guys enjoyed my What If Naruto Had All Dojutsu movie. That one was pretty good in my opinion. But yeah. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And Rami X out. Support the affiliate links down below.